Bungie Project dropped about a week ago and the reveal just happened. The floor price was staying quite high, but where's it going to go next? Let's jump in and check it out. First up, I want to say if you could hit up that like button, also subscribe, I really would appreciate it. I've put chapters down below so you can fast forward to the sections that you want to help you navigate the video easier. This is not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, please do your own research before jumping into the NFT space. So I'm going to do a quick overview about Bungie Project, but if you don't want that, just click on price charts to get straight to the stats. Bungie Project is an 11,111 NFT project, and the artist is Brendan Murphy. Now, he's an established artist, and when we get over onto Twitter, you can just see how active he is and how much he's putting his face behind it, which really helps out with the legitimacy of the project. Now, when you come down and have a look at the artwork, it has a similar motif, but it's got a very interesting style about it, so you can really pick it apart from any other sort of profile picture when you end up looking at it, which is good to see. Now, when it comes down to the project, it's not just an art project. They have member-only perks, they've got events, you've also got the digital artwork as you would get, the physical artwork, and then also the merch. And the way that they're actually going to be doing some of this is that for some of these access to these things, you'll need to have a Bungie project to actually get into the access, and also for anything online and digital, you'll need to connect your wallet to kind of get the access. So I'm a big fan of using an NFT as the utility which is proof of ownership when it comes to kind of getting access into things. And when you scroll down to the team, you've got the artist Brendan Murphy, but you've got a huge support team here. Now, what is great here is that you've actually got their actual photos, you've got their sort of Twitters, Facebooks. Now, I'm a big fan of this because most projects will kind of put up the avatar of what they're going to be using that's on their Twitter account or whatever. But the idea that you can actually see these people's faces, it shows that these people are in it for the long run. It shows that you can actually find out who Greg Norman is. You can see what his face is. You can find out who the community manager is. You can see his face. The fact that you can see these people, you can then jump in and do your due diligence and do your research, puts a little bit more faith in the project, because if these people are to kind of run off and do a rug pull, it's very hard because they've attached their personal reputation to this project. When we jump over onto Twitter, what we can see here is they've got 30,000 followers. Now, like I said at the start of the video, what I really like is the fact that Brendan Murphy is putting his face behind this. He's not just showing off the model that's next to it. You can see he's got paint on his pants. Like, he's actually an artist, like in the trenches doing the work. He's got the merch on. When you come down, he's got videos talking. You can actually see the guy, you can hear the guy. You start to build a personal relationship with him when you actually get into the social media aspect. And this is great because you see him, you hear him, and you start to feel like you get to know him. A lot of projects aren't doing this. He's not trying to set up a super polished interview aspect. He's just trying to like treat this project as his personal project. He's doing what an artist should actually be doing, which is talking about his project and putting his face out there and putting his reputation on the line when it comes to the art. And it's this aspect that shows that it's going to have a great foundation and a great strength moving forward, because you've got an established team and an artist behind it that really want it to succeed. Jumping over onto OpenSea, we can get a snapshot of the project. You've got the 11,100 items, you've got the 6,100 owners, which is a decent distribution, and a floor price of essentially 0.5. Now, I will say that when a Bungie Project was released, it was a Dutch auction, so it started off high and the price dropped every 5 minutes, so people could then buy at the price that they thought was appropriate. Now, at the moment, the prices and the sales will be very frothy because the reveal has just happened. The reveal happened about 8 hours ago from the time of this recording. If we jump over into Nansen, what we can see here is that on the 24-hour market overview, Bungie Project is at number 2, but you can see that it's beating out Bored Ape and it's beating out some of these others that have had a decent run. When we jump over into the project itself, we can see that it was deployed 7 days ago, and there was the crazy volume on the first day. The starting price was 3.3 ETH and it was dropping 0.1 ETH every 5 minutes to a resting point at 0.3 ETH. So with that in mind, that's why you can see this huge crazy volume on the first day. And then as the days have gone on, there was a bit of a dip, but then the average has sat quite high. And this is really good. Now, I do believe that this is because there hadn't been a reveal. Everything was sitting quite flat. Now, when you have a look at the price range, the price was quite high because of where people were minting at. It then dropped down, but then it's caught back up. So the green line is the average price, and you can see it is sitting quite flat with the maximum price very frothy and jumping around. You could have picked up a bargain happen on the 27th of October, considering where the price floor is at now. Now, when we have a look at the individual transactions, we can see a lot of notable buyers in this space, and then there is just a giant wall of transactions when there was the reveal that had just happened. Now, overall, with the individual transactions, it looks like it was in a very slight downtrend. You can see this by the white line, but overall, it wasn't too bad. Now, looking at the top balances, this may blow your mind. The top holder has 589, so almost 600 of the NFTs. The next person has 150, then 50. I've never seen a distribution like this between 1 and 2 and even 1 and 3. It is insane. So it shows Coke.eth is a big believer in this project and a huge holder when it comes to this project. Having a look at the top balances over time, this is really what you want to see. The top balance loading up and buying more. The top balance sees this as a ridiculously strong project. Having a look at the unique addresses, we've kind of tapped out at 6,250 and we're currently at 6,150. So there has been a drop of about 100 people. But saying that, we are above that 50% mark, which is nice to see when it comes to the unique addresses. When it comes to the percentage holding one NFT, it is currently sitting at 72%, which is around where I really like to see a good mark. I like a good 70% holding one NFT. And then when it comes to the balance of diamond hands, it peaked out at 9,600 and it's currently dropped off to 9,100. I do believe that the diamond hands, this chart will go down because there has been the reveal and there will be a bit of a shakeup. So we need a couple of days for the data to be scraped, collated, and then kind of put into the chart format so we can actually see what happens with it. Now, coming up to the profit leaderboard. Now, this is a very interesting profit leaderboard. We can see that the top profit taker has taken almost 10, so less than 10, 9.7 ETH. And then to round out the top 10, it's actually 3 ETH. Now, the reason that I think this is crazy, and this definitely will change over the next day or so, is the fact that a top profit taker of less than 10 ETH, this should be sitting around 30 or 40. So I believe there will be some people that will be doing some major sell-offs, and I do believe that we will see this top 10 change around, and the top 10 will round out to around the 10 ETH mark. Now, the other reason that this profit leaderboard is a little bit different and skewed is because it was a Dutch auction. Seeing that the price floor is at a 0.5 ETH floor, we may need to see a run up a little bit higher, because the lowest you could have picked one up is 0.3 ETH, but other people may have gotten it at 0.5 and above. So it means that the profits might not be too high. Saying that, I do see a little bit more run up when it comes to the profit leaderboard and what can actually happen when it comes to this project. And that's why I feel like there's a little bit more longevity when it comes to the project, just looking at the profit leaderboard stats. When we have a look at the entry points of the top 5 buying addresses, we can see here that the lowest that they have bought in at is 0.55. So this is where the floor, so this is a little bit higher than the current floor, but it shows that between 0.6 and 0.8, so around that 0.7 mark, is where there is a heavy group of buying on this project. So that's where these top 5 buying addresses see where the price should be sitting at a minimum. Coming down to the legendary collectors that are buying, a lot of them got in at 0.2, which is crazy, but then the average is kind of sitting around that 0.7 mark when it comes to the ETH. But then on this reveal day, you can see that there has been just a line of purchasing to the right. Having a look at where the smart money was buying, there's not much we can take away from here because there isn't that much data to go off. Now, having a look at the recent transactions, we should be able to see where the price can move over a short period of time. We can see here that over a 1 hour period, we could get to 20 sales. Now, this chart is delayed by 25 minutes. That's why you can see it up here. So 33 minutes ago wasn't actually the last sale. So if you then use this number and jump over onto OpenSea, you can see that at 20 sales, you could get to a 0.55 floor. Now, what you need to take into account is people will be listing as sales are being made, but it shows you just how fast the price floor could move within that hour mark if no one else listed or people currently delisted. So overall, what do I think of Boonji Project? I think Boonji Project is an interesting project that may have some longevity more than just the NFT. The fact that they're building in some of the utilities when it comes to what you will have access to after mint shows that they have thought this out. The fact that the artist is always in front of the camera and always trying to do stuff when it comes to promoting the project shows that it's going to have some longevity. I believe that with an artist always wanting to be creative and always wanting to push the boundaries, I can see Bungie Project really building this into a big, long, extended IP. I can see him wanting to build this out into a bigger ecosystem. And this is where I can see this being a really good hold, not necessarily in the next month or two, but I'm talking in years to come. We don't know where this project can go because we don't know where the artist can go. All it takes is the artist having a personality himself, not being afraid to get in front of the camera to make the right moves, which then draws in more attention for the project, which can then propel that forward. That's why I'm a big fan of people that actually have a public face to it. Will I buy into Bungie Project? Looking at the price floor where it currently is, I'm going to seriously have a look and consider and see if I can get in on the project. It looks interesting, and I'm a big fan of aspects when it comes to a project, especially physical aspects. With the reveal that has just happened, I do feel like there will be a bit of choppiness over the next 24 hours, and that's where it'll be interesting to see where the price floor actually falls in. I think it would have been silly for me or someone else to buy in pre-reveal at an inflated price when you could get someone that wanted to offload one of their less rare options just for faster liquidity, and you could pick up a deal. Before I go, I also wanted to explain the giveaway. I'm giving away 0.1 ETH when we reach 5,000 subscribers. In the description below, I've got a link to Twitter. I've also got a link to the pinned tweet. Jump in, follow me on Twitter. Also subscribe here. Retweet that tweet. And when we get to 5,000 subs, I'll be giving away that 0.1 ETH. So good luck in the giveaway. And as always, it's been a pleasure having you with me. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.